Hello, Vintage Outboard Motor fans. This is Team Mike here in South Louisiana, making another video today. Today's video is going to be on kill switches. I had a request from one of my subscribers to make a video on kill switches, so I thought I'd put this together for you. This is going to be a 7-part video. All right. First part is going to be what a kill switch is. What's the function of a kill switch? Second part is going to be what did we do before kill switches? They weren't always around, so how did we stop a motor before kill switches came out? Third part is going to be what is required by law as of today, which is July the 2nd, 2022. All right. The fourth part is going to be the two different types of kill switches that are out there. The fifth part is going to be how a kill switch actually works. Give you a little bit of science behind it. Sixth part is going to be how to install a kill switch on your vintage motor if you want to put one. And the seventh part is going to be how to troubleshoot a kill switch if it goes bad. Now I'm going to put a prerequisite in here to say that this kill switch video is going to be about the vintage outboard motors that I work on. The 40s, 50s, 60s, and 70s, Johnson and Evinrude's, 20 horsepower and less. So it's not going to involve anything to do with controls and the kill switch button on your controls or electric start. Nothing to do with that. Just the tiller handle kill switches. All right. So if everybody's ready, here we go. All right. Part number one is what is a kill switch? So a kill switch is exactly what it says. When you operate the kill switch, however, whether it's to push a button or pull out the lanyard, we'll talk about later, it kills the engine and stops the engine. That's what a kill switch is. So part number two now is going to be what did we do before kill switches. So I'll work on 50s and 60s motors, and the kill switches didn't actually come out into the late 50s, early 60s. So the 38, 30s, 40s, and early 50s, no kill switches. So how did we stop the engine? Well, there's two ways to stop an engine. All right, an outboard motor. You can either choke it, and that would force more fuel into it, which would flood the engine, and that would kill it. The other way would be to idle it all the way down until you starve it with gas, and there the engine would stop. So the issue with doing that is, in the first case, when you choke it to stop it and flood it, when you come back to start it again, the engine is flooded with gas and it won't start the first crank. You have to crank it a few times till it exhausts out the excess fuel, till it gets the right amount of fuel in it, and then it'll start 3, 4, 5 pulls, not the first pull. The other way of letting it die, idling it all the way down until it dies, it's the opposite problem. It starves it from gas, so when you come back to start it again, you have to choke it, which takes 2 or 3 pulls to feed the fuel into it so that it'll start up. Okay? When they came out with the kill switches, and I'll give you the two different types that they have nowadays. When they came out with the kill switches, when you're running your motor and you get where you're going and you want to stop it, you just press the kill switch button, stops the engine. Might fish a little bit, catch 2 or 3 fish. When you come back to start it, the carburetor's got the right amount of fuel in it. It's not flooded or starved, and you pull that rope and it starts right up. So that's the advantage of a kill switch. All right. So now let's talk about part 3 and what is required by law. So April 1st of 2021, a nationwide law came out that required kill switches on all motors that were produced. All right, and the newer kill switches have a lanyard on it. We'll talk about that in a minute, connected to you, so that if the boat flips, or if you have a problem in the boat and you get up, the engine will kill. All right, for safety reasons. They did it for safety reasons. It's not a bad thing. All right, so all boats under 26 foot are required to have a kill switch, and you have to have the lanyard hooked to you in the boat while you're underway, not when you're not moving, just when you're underway. All right, so there's a lot of controversy about these older motors that I work on, and as of today, we are grandfathered in. If your outboard was not manufactured with a kill switch on it, you don't have to add one to it. Okay, as of today, I know of no state that requires a kill switch, but those days are numbered. Sooner or later, they're going to come and require us to add a kill switch onto our outboards, all right, for safety reasons. So I'm going to show you later in the video how to do that, how to add that kill switch, all right? So here's the fourth part of this video, which is the two different types of kill switches, okay? First type, which like I said, it came out in the late 50s, early 60s, is simply a push button mounted right there in the front. In the front on the controls, be a push button, and it's got two wires, all right, that you wire into the magneto to kill the spark. That's the first type. And they got fancy later in the late 70s and 80s, and now all boats come with this type of kill switch. All right, this kill switch has the same two wires going to the magneto to kill the spark, but it's got a lanyard that you hook to your wrist or to your belt with this clip, and then when you boat turns over or when you get up, the lanyard comes out, the button is automatically pressed and kills the engine. All right, so this is what is required for you to have. All right, you can also, while you have it hooked to you, you can press the button and it kills the motor. Okay, so that's the two different types. All right, so now let's talk about part 5 of the video, and that's how does a kill switch work. So the kill switch, let's take the first version. The kill switch is a shorting mechanism. It has two leads that connect to these two leads of the magneto, and those two leads are wired into the terminals where the coil and the condensers are mounted, and where the points are. These two leads are mounted to that. All right, so when the button is pressed, a ground is applied to those two leads, which kills the spark. So just a little science behind that. The spark generated by this magneto, the magnet spinning around the coils, creates a current and sends that current down the spark plug wire to the spark plug. So the spark plug current comes to it. The outer housing of this spark plug is grounded to the chassis of the motor, and the current comes through this tip right here and jumps across there looking for ground, and there's the spark. So spark is like lightning in the clouds. The electrons and protons build up, and they're oppositely charged, and it looks for ground. That's when the lightning strikes, hits a tree or hits a lightning rod, looking for ground. That current coming down that spark plug lead is looking for ground, and it's right here. So when the kill switch, right, it pushes a ground to this point where the current is flowing through, it's before the spark wire. The current grounds through that point, isn't sent down to the spark plug, so your engine loses spark and it dies. That's how a kill switch works. Provides a ground, which gives another path for that spark to be grounded and retards the spark. Okay, so now let's go to the 6th part of the video on how to install on your motor, how to install it. So to install a kill switch on your motor, I would put the newer type in. You can get them at Academy or any sporting goods store. I think I got mine on Amazon for, I think it was 12 bucks on Amazon. So you would just take the lower cowling of your outboard, this is a 6 horsepower Evinrude, and drill a hole in the side right here. Take the lanyard off. There's a nut right here. Drill a hole the size of this outer right here. Run it through the hole of your cowling. When it comes out the other side, put the nut on, and you have it mounted on your cowling. Okay. Then you take the two wires, all right, and you run them up run them up through where the spark plug wires are ran into your magneto, and simply put one end on this terminal and the other end on that terminal. And that would provide the path for the shorting of the leads to kill the spark, to stop your engine. Okay, part 7 of the video is on how to troubleshoot your kill switch. So the kill switch can cause problems, obviously, if it malfunctions in the operation of your motor. It either doesn't stop the motor, or it won't let you start the motor because it's operated all the time. So it's possible there's contacts inside here that when you press the button on the older style, when you press the button, the contacts close and it causes a short circuit, and it provides the ground. So if you can't start it and you have no spark, you always should disconnect the kill switch leads. Disconnect your kill switch leads from the magneto. If you have spark and you can start it, you got a shorted kill switch. The way to test them is to put an ohm meter. I like using a digital ohm meter. Set your scale to ohms, and I'm showing 13 million ohms, which means it's not shorted. And when you hook your leads across it and you press it, you see it shows 7 ohms, 10 ohms, 9 ohms. You release it, it's open again. So this is a working kill switch. The symptoms of when it's not working are it doesn't kill your motor when you press it, or you can't start your motor. That would be, one would be open and the other one would be shorted. So test your kill switch, and that's how you do it. All right, so that concludes the video. Let's do a summary right now. Let's see what we got. All right, so we talked about what a kill switch is. It obviously kills the engine. We talked about what we did before kill switches. We either choked the engine to kill it, or we idled it down so low to kill it. Third thing is what's required by law. All right, any boat over 26 foot that was manufactured with a kill switch, you're required to have it working in the boat and a lanyard connected to you. All right, the two types, we talked about the two types of kill switches: the older style with the push button and the newer style with the lanyard. All right, fifth part of the video, we talked about how it works, how it grounds out the spark before it gets to the spark plug to make it stop running. All right, the sixth part, we talked about how to install it. Just drill a hole into your lower cowling, mount it, and connect the two wires up into the post of the magneto. And then the seventh part, we talked about how to troubleshoot it with an ohm meter to see that it shorts when you press the button and the short goes away when you release it. So there's all the 7 things you need to know about kill switches. I hope it really helped you. Voila. All right, hope y'all enjoyed the video. I certainly did. I'll see y'all next time. Hope you enjoyed the video here at T Mike's Vintage Outboards. We're doing it one motor at a time. Please click on subscribe. I guarantee to provide weekly videos. Thank you very much. Au revoir, mes amis, and laissez les bon temps rouler. Aïe!